There's two things we're going to talk about today: loading film into an M camera and my thoughts on using the Leica MP over this last 30 days of having it. Welcome back, and if you're new here, my name is Michael Evans, and I'm a photographer in the Cincinnati, Ohio area. And today we're going to talk about loading film into a Leica M camera because you're probably not doing it right. So let me start off by saying I had some issues when I first got the camera. I had a roll of film that I thought was advancing and it wasn't, and I didn't realize that until after I shot like 40 frames. And I had another film where I didn't rewind it properly, and when I opened it up, I completely cooked it. So I want to go over how to load your film properly, how to rewind it properly, and you probably have been doing it wrong. I have been watching a lot of people on YouTube and social media in general on how they load their Leica M cameras, and I've done some research on how you're properly supposed to do it. And I found that everyone that I've seen, for the most part, is doing it wrong. So you might be in that camp, because I was in that camp until I learned this recently. And I would like to show you how to load your Leica M camera properly as instructed by Leica engineers. So first, we're going to take this roll of film. This roll of film is actually already cooked. Little story on that is I thought I messed up because the camera would not rewind, and I had not fully read the instructions, and I didn't know that there was a rewind button. I thought that you just start rewinding and it will do that, and I thought there was something wrong with the camera because it wouldn't rewind. And when I opened it up, it was all still unwound, so this roll of film is completely cooked. So I'm going to show you without destroying another roll of film how to load your camera. So let's get on with that. First, we are going to take off the bottom lid. All right, I'm going to load the film here. So you just want to pull out enough to where it is going through the tongs right here. So we have this film is right through there, going through the tongs. I have this pushed in, and that is all you do. Then you put this back onto here. When you do that, this little wheel right here will push the film into its spot. And I can show you how you can check it to make sure that everything is working once you have everything done as I've shown you right here. So first thing I want to do is shoot one frame, and then you're going to hit that rewind lever, and you're going to rewind it until you get some tension. So right about there, I'm getting some tension right here. So now I'm going to release that rewind lever and then shoot 2 frames. Also, when you're doing that, you're twisting the film so it's taut inside of the canister, and then you're making it able so there's no slack anymore. You can tell that you're shooting it because right here, you can see when I advance the lever, that is turning. That's how you know that the film is in place and perfectly aligned and everything, due to the mechanics of the engineering people over at Leica. They know what they're doing, and this is how you're supposed to properly load your camera. Since this film is already cooked, like I said, I'm going to show you that this film is actually wound. So there we go. You can see right in there that this film is actually wound in there. So it's already taut and everything inside. I'm going to pull this out. So I'm going to rewind this film. So to rewind it, like I said, you just push this rewind lever, and then you pull this up. If you have an M6, it has this same switch right here. So this is already released. You can feel it when it's done. It's just easier to turn. So now I can pull this out. So now you know that your film is loaded properly and that you will have no issues. After doing this, after I messed up a couple of times in the beginning, I have had no issues with loading my film into my camera, and I have been enjoying using this camera with really no problems at all. So I just wanted to show you how to load your film properly, and I hope that this helps, because it sure did help me. So I'd love to read a small section of the instruction manual to show you that the Leica engineers have thought of everything when loading the film into this camera. It says, important, the advancing of the film should not be checked with the camera open, as the bottom cover is designed in such a way that replacing it on the camera brings the film into the correct position. So as I was saying, you don't need to have the camera open to advance the film. The camera is built and the engineers of Leica have put it together in a way that you just need to put the cover on and advance the film, rewind this little lever to make sure that the film is taut and everything is perfectly aligned in the camera, and then you just move the frames forward 2 frames probably is good enough. And I found that I'm getting 37 shots every roll. So when you're loading the camera with the cover open, you're usually losing about 4 to 5 frames of shots. So you're usually probably only getting like 35. I'm getting 37 frames out of every roll that I shoot, because I'm only losing 3 frames. That 1 frame that I'm pulling forward when the cover is on, and then 2 more to make sure that everything is moving and working properly with the camera before I start shooting. So now that we've gone over that you're probably loading your film the wrong way, next I would love to talk about how I've been using this camera, my thoughts on it and everything, and just kind of go over that. Like I said, I've been using this camera for about 30 days. Probably the beginning of November is when I started shooting with this. It is December 21st right now. Am I right? Yeah, December 21st. I have gotten a different lens for this camera since I originally showed my video unboxing it. I had a 35 Sumercon, which is an f2 lens, and I sold that and got a 35 Summilux. I feel like with film, having that extra 1 stop of light is definitely important, more important than on digital, for at least in my opinion, because I can't change the ISO later or do anything in post to get it to be the perfect exposure like I can with digital, right? So with film, I wanted to make sure that I could get as much light as I possibly could, and having this Summilux lens f1.4 is amazing to have. This is the non-close focus one. This is a version 5, I believe, but it has been great. The only thing I really have to kind of be diligent about is making sure that I set my ISO to my film on the back so it's calibrated in the camera, because I have shot some 200 film at 400, 400 film at 800, and I've been pushing it when I send it to the developer, which is fine. The shots have came out pretty good. If you saw my video last week where I showed my first 4 rolls of film.
The ground beneath my feet keeps rolling under me, and I try to catch my breath with the dust.
You'll be able to see what the images look like out of this camera. I have shot 8 more rolls of film since that video came out, and I will be showing some more shots on film and on digital in the coming weeks. I took a trip in Florida, and I took this camera and my Q343 because it's really difficult for me to decide what camera I want to shoot on. I really don't know how Dave Herring does it. He has an M digital and an M for film, and trying to decide which camera I want to grab is so difficult. But I've really been loving shooting this camera, and 9 times out of 10, I just want to take both of them with me. So it's quite a dilemma, but it's something that I'm really interested in learning more about film and how to use it. I really enjoy the rangefinder experience with film especially. So this has just been a really fun camera to use and to kind of grow and learn more things about film, I should say. This camera has just been really great. I've had no issues since learning how to load it properly and making sure that the film is advancing. If it's not advancing, you just want to make sure that it's loaded in properly. You can take the lid off. You haven't lost any more frames than you started with, and make sure that everything is aligned. You can pull the cover back, make sure that it's just completely in there, and then move that forward. That's the only other tip that I can really offer. But I haven't had any issues with the film not loading or rewinding or anything, as this camera is kind of brand new. So there's definitely no issues with it. The issue is user error. So I wanted to just kind of share my thoughts on this camera, and hopefully you learned something. If you did, or if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. I would love to talk with you, talk with this community a little bit more, and getting to know you guys and what you use, and what M camera are you using? That would be a question that maybe you could leave down below in the comments. And as always, like and subscribe, as it helps a ton. And I hope to catch you in the next video. See ya.